this for the last, this, right now I'm not working too much with more of the Koreans, but
You're gonna be talking about
They
the
cannot
market.
anymore.
no, $10,000 a
Right
year.
here, BGA
They were
Properties,
smuggling
Carlos
to
Lopez,
Vegas,
Alterra.
giving the casinos for vacation money, and they were giving, and Vegas was taking 50,000 off the top, yeah, and they got caught.
And that's a problem that the investors here were having, because the Chinese don't care to make 0% return on their investment, as long as they can park their money here and be secure.
It is good coffee.
Oh, good, good.
Thank you.
All right, what about with already? So we're trying to have the training every week to know about the market, to know how we can do better business, to give some kind of value to you guys that can help you to talk to your clients about what's happening. Whenever I ask you, what's happening in the market, what's going on with real estate, you already know you have to say, well, it depends on where you are, what area you are working with, and what you're looking to do, buy, sell, invest, list. And today I'm going to be just sharing some information because I like to follow the market. When the market crashed 10 years ago, a lot of things were happening and I didn't even know. And I was like, why I didn't know that kind of thing when everybody kind of knows you should be doing this business for a while. So I'm just going to be talking about 10, 15 minutes about what's happening in the market in the next 6, 12 months. And I have a guest, Fran Donato, is going to be sharing with us some insight he has about the business, and some new things are coming into plan in Lancaster, okay?
All right.
And I'm making a little video, and that way we're live, by the way, on Facebook, because I want to keep the information going, and I'm making some library here in YouTube, that way we can have the information there. Anyhow, Carlos Lopez, Alterra Home Loans, and BGA Properties in the West, and we're going to be just talking about the dynamics, what's going to happen at the end of the year, and we're going to be talking about the rates, the stock market, and real estate, okay? Let me just give you some points. You already know the stock market is going high, still moving up, but everybody, I'm not talking about only me, I'm talking about me as the guy giving you the news, I'm talking about what I like to read, people that knows about the market. Everybody's expecting to have a little pullback on the stock market. If the little pullback on the stock market, that may be good for real estate, because real estate and the stock market, they kind of compete for the money. And when the people put the money out of the stock market, they're going to try to buy some real estate. So if that happens, that would be a good thing for us. At the same time, we're going to be talking about the interest rate. You already know the rate's been going up, already increased 2 times, a quarter point 2 times by the Fed this year. And the Fed says they're going to increase it again another 2 times by the end of the year. We're going to be looking at the chart for the interest rate, the difference between 2 years Treasury notes and the 10 years Treasury note. Maybe you don't know much about this, but those 2 rates are important. Two-year Treasury note change, the short-term loans change, like the 10, 15-year fix. When the 10 years Treasury note change, the 30-year fixed rate for the loans change. When they cross, when they are the same rate, that's a sign that something's going to happen in the market. And that's the reason why we're doing this, or why I'm doing this. You guys have questions, so let me know at the end, okay? And this is the chart about the stock market. This chart was back in December, was at 2,200 points, the Standard & Poor's. Right now it's at 2,800 points. And the reason why I'm showing you the chart is to see the difference. Today, right now, we're having the highest stock market in history. And the last two times that happened, after the market hit the top, the peak, the market have a little recession or a big recession. So that was, here you can see the chart, that was back in 2000, I think was at the dot-com burst or something like that. After it hit the peak, went down, and there is something interesting here. There was a big, I don't remember right now the name, a big stock market on the dot-com market that went down big time that year. And exactly after that happened, the market changed. It's very curious I'm saying that because last week, I don't know if you guys know, Facebook, the stock market went down a lot. So that might be probably a sign. So that happened in 2000 and that happened again in 2008 when the market hit the peak. After that, it just came the recession. And now it's just going high, and sometimes eventually it's going to stop going high. When that happens, we already know that something is going to come into the market. Mm-hmm. So you guys clear so far with that? Yes. And now this is the difference between the 2 years, the 10-year Treasury note and the 2 year Treasury note. Why I'm showing you this is because this is about rate, about what I like to talk and do, loans. Like I was saying, when the 10-year treasury note is high, the interest rate are higher. And the same thing with the 2 years. But this chart here, it shows the difference between the two of them, between the 2 years and the 10 years. The only 3 times or 4 times in history when those 2 years cross apart, or the 30-year treasury note is lower than the 10-year treasury note is lower than the 2-year, that usually happened before coming a recession in the market. So it happened here in 2008, the same thing that you saw on the stock market chart, and it happened here in 2000, and it happened before in 1990. So right now the prediction is going to be the government is making everything to have a lot of funds available, liquidity, and is making the interest rate in the short term going higher. But the interest rate in the 30-year is not going higher that much. So the 2-year is going faster than the 10 years. And eventually it's going to cross apart. And when that happens in the next 12 months, 2 years, it's going to be a change in the market. Why I'm saying this about changing the market, it doesn't mean that the real estate is going to crash, or it doesn't mean that we're going to be out of business. It just means that it's going to be more opportunities. It's going to come again the investor market that everybody's looking for, huh? And the prices are going to probably suffer a little bit. Since we don't have much inventory, I don't think that's going to be a problem, but it's going to kind of create more business. And this is what I was telling you about. This is just news from last week. That was on Thursday. The Facebook stock market went down 20%. That day only, they lost $100 billion.
Wow.
And that thing happening in one day might be a sign to the market, on the stock market, what's going to happen in the next 12 months, 24 months. Unless China keeps devaluating the currency, and then a lot of people, investors, bringing dollars over here, trying to buy dollars to make the safe investment. And this is just another thing I was reading during the weekend. This is new. Well, this is news from 1971, just to give you an idea how was inflation and interest rate back in 1972. That was when I was born, 46 years ago, by the way. It's going to be my birthday next week. Yeah, so 1972, when I was born, the interest rate here the inflation was 8.7% during the year, and the rates were higher than that. Usually when the inflation is high, the interest rates are going to be higher. They're going to try to catch up with the market. Now, don't you think that's kind of unique? And I have here something else that is interesting. This is for last week too. Mr. Trump, he was criticizing the Fed because the Fed is already announcing increasing the rate, the interest rate. And Trump is against that. Probably all we are against that because we know if the rates go higher, the market is going to change. But at the same time, according to the Fed, it's just natural keeping the cycle of the interest rate moving up and high and down. Because if they raise the rate and the market changes, there is a recession, then they can decrease the rates again to stimulate the economy. So the point about this is the only one time somebody criticized the Fed, the president, was back with Nixon. And when Nixon did it, the Fed didn't increase the rate that much, just kind of to keep everything in peace. And after that happened, it came a big recession in 1975. So right now, I'm not saying, I'm just based on the newspaper and everybody talking about this, they don't think the Fed is going to pay attention to Trump's critics. But if for any reason they do, what they're going to do is just keep the market going high and high and high. And then it's going to be probably better for us for a little while. However, after that, it's going to be big time change. Everything okay so far? Going too fast?
No, it's fine.
And talking about interest rates, so what's going to happen, I was just talking about that. Is the inflation, the interest rate is going to go higher. I don't know if you know the gas is higher. No, you haven't seen the gas prices going higher? Yeah, they are. And at the same time right now, with some things happening with the tariff and the import and the dollar getting, some things are getting more expensive. So if the price keeps going up, the interest rate is going to go higher. Here we're just talking about the Fed, the gold money, and if there is more liquidity on the market, that's going to be probably more inflation because there is more money available to be. and we went back to more supply, less demand for the interest rate, if everybody rates are gonna go higher. Mortgage rate, like I was saying, on the market, the interest rate went up the last 6 months. In the last month of June, July, the rates didn't go higher anymore, just kind of stay there, flat. But we're expecting to see them again going higher. And regarding the housing, I was actually reading today, inventory is up. Now the inventory went up, like before last year was 4-month inventory nationwide, now it's 4.2 month inventory nationwide, so it went up. The thing is, property is selling and property is still going. So if you know, if we have low inventory and we have more sales, the inventory is gonna go down, but still the prices are gonna keep going higher. Rent, it's funny about rent. I don't know if you guys, I think we were talking about in the weekend. I have a lot of buyers that just wanna buy because they are tired of the landlord. And yesterday was a great article, like 50–80% sales of units, multi-units in LA County, just because of investor flipping property to increase the rent. So one of my buyers, like 2 weeks, they want to buy a house because they are now doing the lease month to month or 6 months. They don't do the lease for 1 year anymore. That way the landlord can increase the rent every month or every 6 months.
Yeah.
And they're increasing the rate every 6 months, like $200–300, like every 6 months. I don't think I never got to forget this. It's been on the same property for 8 years. In the first 5 years, they didn't increase. Last 3 years, every 6 months, it's been increasing. She's paying right now almost double the beginning 8 years ago. Same for us because of course now they're going to be able to buy more. Well, remains stay strong, and the prediction, the appreciation of the houses, still the forecast is about 5.5% for the next 12 months. If anybody's going to ask you, so how the market is doing? Well, it depends. You're going to buy a house, you're going to live in there. Forecast right now is to have an appreciation of 5%. And what does it mean that? The 5% appreciation, let's do something here from Edison. Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who doesn't pays it. So if 5% annual appreciation in real estate, the house will have a value, increased value of $166,000 in 10. In 4.5 is kind of conservative. Here in Palm, Lancaster, I don't know if you know, there are some zip codes that went up 10% just in the last 12 months. So amazing. Still here, and still here we haven't get to the peak of the prices. So this is kind of, and now we're gonna just talk about the new programs. Alterra Home Loans, remember, I'm the lender, loans are my passion. Today I updated my Instagram account, Loans for Life.
Loans for life.
Yes, but anyway, the market, I was talking about getting more money available to borrow. People can actually, yes, buy easily. I know that's high. Now we're going back to interest-only loans, 40 years amortization. So those kind of program means that you're gonna have a 4-year loan. The first 10 years is gonna be interest only. The next 30 years is gonna be fully amortized. So you're gonna have a 40-year loan. Things that we did.
So we're going back to the same that it was before.
Before 2008. There is another program for 30-year interest only too. This is 680 FICO. We can do this for owner-occupied or for investors. Usually investors want to have the lowest payment possible to increase the cash flow. We have a new program for jumbo, $1.5 million. You can buy a $1.5 million house with no mortgage insurance.
Wow.
This is amazing. The rates are not that bad, 6.875–7% depending on the FICO. No warranty condos. We don't have many condos up here, but before, whenever you want to buy a condo in the Valley of LA, we need to see the property qualify for FHA financing or VA, because that was the most common financing we have. Now everything is pretty much conventional. So we can do conventional in condominiums, even if they're not FHA approved, even if they're not Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac approved, with 15% down. Investment properties, this is huge. You have investors and you don't wanna put 20% down, we can go for investment property up to $1.5 million with 15% down, no mortgage insurance, and 20. Right now, there is no limit for properties owned for investors, so you wanna keep buying more down payment. And of course, you already know, no permanent resident alien. We are doing the long thing for down payment assistance and FHA 585.
What
We
you
actually,
mean non-permanent resident?
it was probably the lender was making an exception. I don't know, but or it wasn't legally
So
official.
people who has permission for work,
Or no permission, they can buy with conventional.
really?
Yes, before was pretty much on the FHA.
Mm.
And that's pretty much where we are right now. So, what do you guys think? Do you have any questions right now? Anybody over there? You guys got it? Stanley, good to see you, my man.
Again, no permission to work. This is, because I have a lot of clients with tax ID only. That's which is.
But that's different. This is for the IT loans.
Okay.
Yeah, Alterra still does IT loans. They changed the program to 20% down.
But they do.
Yes, yes.
With the TIN number.
Yes.
Yeah, I got a lot of clients.
There are a lot of people waiting, man. I can tell you, every day I have my phone, yes.
Okay.
The half of the calls for IT, yes.
20% now.
20% down, yes. You guys have any question? The market, the rate, the inventory? Frank,
Yeah.
you ready to go up and do your,
Absolutely, good information.
all right? Now it's up to you, man, come over.
Okay.
Join us.
Okay. Okay. So,
Right here. Oh,
so,
you have two cameras, you're live right now, remember, please.
okay, well, let me pass out these, so here. Here's
Thank
some
you, man.
information,
Okay.
here's my card, pass those around. Carlos brought us some very good information and some very good points. What he's doing, I know he's doing it every day, and I do it every day. It's very important in our real estate industry.
Right there.
Right here?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, yeah, so you need to do this in the real estate industry, you have to understand, it's no longer what it used to be in the past, you know, it's just a house. A house is a commodity today, and a couple of things I'm gonna bring up that's important to you, because I know everybody in here, I believe, is bilingual, is that true?
Yeah?
Do you speak French, is that what it is?
Only when he get upset.
Okay, so it's important because in the last 2 years, we tracked the buyers coming. 85% of every home that closed in the Antelope Valley in the last 2 years, the buyer came outside our zip codes. Okay, that's very important to understand that. You gotta understand where they're coming from. They're coming from basically south of Santa Clarita Valley, in those areas, in that area. Very few buyers moved up here from Santa Clarita Valley. They actually skip over because Santa Clarita Valley is now nicknamed the new Sherman Oaks, just to let you know that. Affordable Sherman Oaks, okay? So, to give you an example, and you understand prices, our median price home up here, resales, I'm not talking about new homes, resales is about $330,000 overall. Santa Clarita Valley, it's $575,000. And then, of course, it jumps over the hill, the average home is over $700,000 to $800,000. No matter what's gonna happen, market fluctuating up and down, people are gonna be coming by, if they want a home, they're gonna be here in the Antelope Valley. It's a 30 to 40-minute drive without traffic to San Fernando Valley, with working and things like that. Now, there's another thing I wanna bring up that is important, is this happened this year, and for some reason, we didn't get a lot of press, a lot of excitement out of it. The MetroLink train, it's right here, everybody knows that people use it. Well, most people don't know that stops now in Burbank. It stops for Burbank, and it has a free shuttle to take you to the airport. So people today, if they don't want to deal with the traffic, and they live in that area there, North Hollywood, work in North Hollywood, whatever, they can take that MetroLink, and then they can take Uber if they want to go to work. They don't have to use their car. The thing is, Californians, we love to drive. It's just breaking a habit, that. But, it depends, if you want to spend 45 minutes in traffic, to an hour in traffic, it's up to the individual. Our freeways are fantastic. Just to let you know that, they're fantastic. Our freeways are not the problem. Antelope Valley 14, our freeway. It's the 5 freeway. It's the stuff coming off of Valencia in that area that comes down, and that's what's causing the backup. but our freeway's large, wide enough. They can add more lanes. It's not gonna make it faster where that bottleneck is. So just, people say that about traffic. Many times I drive down there, like yesterday I drove down to meet a friend of mine, and I left here about 9:30 in the morning. Had to go to LA. I made it in 50 minutes, driving 70, 75 miles an hour. There was no traffic on the 5. I mean, it was just amazing. So it shows, where the problem is with that traffic. So that's with the traffic. 72,000 cars a day commute from the Antelope Valley to south of us, about 72. And that's gonna grow, no matter what, because they get paid a little higher dollar amount. So what's gonna happen? So I gave you a sheet here, just an overall of what's going on with about the high-speed rails, about the marijuana. I do this every month. Oh, you didn't get this? Okay. Everybody get one? Okay. So I put these newsletters out. I worked with a group. So let me go back. Who's Frank Donato? Okay, I started the title business in 1980 out of college. So it tells you how many years I've been in the business. I lived up here. My parents migrated up here in 1977. And that's when they came up. My dad worked for the phone company. We had four siblings. Dad had a total of 5 kids. He was a laborer. He worked back and forth. Very strong union guy for the phone company. So we came out here. There was nothing here, guys. You could actually ride jackrabbits. All you just put a saddle on them and you could ride them. The total population in Antelope Valley in '77 was approximate 30,000 people. That was it. The entire valley. So
When the interest rate went 9%, 1977.
yeah, in fact, it's interesting he just said that. Good deal back then was around 9.25%, 9.5%. That was a great interest rate. And then, of course, the economy changed over the time and that. So I've been here a long time. I originally grew up as a youngster in Canoga Park, the original Canoga, and which is now split up between Canoga Park and
Canoga Park?
No, what'd you say?
Pacoima?
No.
We
Canoga
like
Park and West Hills.
West.
West Hills. All of West Hills was Canoga Park. Went all the way to Valley. Calabasas was. They were all part of Canoga because it's part of Los Angeles. And I loved it because I could get a BB gun and go out there and chase things with a BB gun, and it was legal. You didn't have a problem with it. So I've been here ever since. So went to college, played baseball. I was a baseball player, and got drafted. And the money part was not in the title business, and I didn't even know what it was. Because when I went for my first interview, it was at a dinner engagement. They said, "You should go in the title business." I said, "Well, I've never done construction before," and they go, "No, not title." So that was a funny thing. Today. So my job today is, over the years, I met a gentleman named Mike Antonovich. He was a supervisor for 30 years in LA County, one of the most influential ever. He appointed me to be a regional planning commissioner of North Los Angeles the first break. And between that, I met a lot of people, influential people. And then in 1986, a group of real estate people and builders said, "Hey, why don't you run for the water board, the Eastern Water Agency?" I have a background in engineering, and I'm not a water engineer or an environmentalist. They said, "You don't have to be. You have business sense, and you've already know land planning." So in 1986, I was the youngest board member, 20s, and I'm serving my 8th term now. 32 years now, almost 32. And with that has helped me understand what you have in your hands. So I'm not speaking off the cuff. I'm not getting information off the news media. This is hardcore conversations with individuals working. And then 1980. Then what happened was in 1997. Early 97, 96. A gentleman, Pete Wilson, and different Pete Knight, made a recommendation that I would be put on the fair board, the Antelope Valley Fair Board. And I was one of the 9 who moved it. I was in the moving process. The reason why I got put on there because of my water background. Water, what you see out there, those big buildings, there was no water out there. So I was able to talk to the board of directors. We fronted the money and the city of Lancaster paid us back to put that infrastructure. And it was $5.5 million to run a pipeline. So that happens. Entertainment for the Antelope Valley. It's become a big thing for rodeos and everything else. 4th of July, that's what happened there. And since the valley was growing, economy, I told everybody to be patient. We got into short sales in the late 90s. And early 2000, things were cracking with the builders. And then around 2000, this crazy, I don't know how it got through subprime loans. It was the biggest farce, crooked process in the world. But the whole government industry approved it. And how do you justify people with don't have a job, qualify at 1%, and buy a house and not think something is going to go? You know, that's the reason I'm bringing this up. And I'm not being far-fetched and I'm not exaggerating. Okay? The reason I'm bringing this up, because what happened then is now, and we will not have a crash today. It won't happen. And the reason why is unless of 2 things. Catastrophe. If the catastrophe, that's a different issue. It doesn't matter because we're not going to be making our mortgage payments anyway. So short of that, it's not going to happen. And I'll tell you why. Nobody in their mind foreclosed on, and you can line them up right now if you have people that have 4% interest rate and 4% interest rate on a mortgage. That's the difference. The people that are living today saw that interest rate. Okay, that's number one. Number two, we all have to live somewhere. Now we could create tent cities, go to Sporting Goods and do it and have tents, find a tree and live like a squirrel, or $100 a month mortgage payment at 3.25% that you bought a house 5 years ago for $200,000. And see, this is what I have to translate to my clients because they read not this, but this crap on TV. Them right now to buy a house, and especially in the Antelope Valley, $300,000. You should buy them all because let me explain something to you. One thing he didn't get you probably didn't know this. Wall Street at the beginning of the year did a study in the Antelope Valley. We have the highest return on cap rate rental properties per square foot purchase price anywhere in the United States of America. Yeah, 100. We are the best, and it only gets better. Now, why? The biggest is that we just happen to be in an area of the county, largest amount given voucher aid, and Palmdale, Lancaster is part of the county. And for some reason, they don't break it down by zip code. They break it down by county. There's no place in the country that has higher than Section 8. That's what pushed the rental market up.
Yeah, I think it's a 4-bedroom house, $2,300 voucher.
Yeah. But you buy yourself a $350,000 house. People say, "Oh no, you're wrong, Frank." No. I'm not wrong. You go pay $2 million, you can get $5,000 a month up in San Francisco for $2 million. You do the numbers. That's about $10,000 if you take the dollars per square foot, and that's what business is all about. Everything he talked about, the economy, stock market, everything's based upon what does it cost in return what. And I'm just talking about business right now, and we're going to place that like none in this room have ever seen before. It was called the Reagan era, okay? And you have a president, I'm separating politics, who carry spending. He loves it. And this happens to be the capital of manufacturing in the world. Why is it the capital of the world? It's the place of America that you have every manufacturer of aerospace in one location. See, you've got everybody there, from NASA, Northrop, Lockheed, Boeing. Now, all these exist, but they're spread out each location. Up in Seattle, the headquarters of Northrop is in Melbourne, Florida. Okay, and they have they do building in Texas, but when they do building in Texas, Boeing, NASA, and all of them are not in the same place, and that's why this place is going to have its turn again after 45 years, because we just happen to get the biggest contract.
The idea that for some reason I think that it's gonna be way more affordable, just like with the cell phones. That at the very beginning it was thousands of dollars, now they give you the cell phone and because if everybody has it,
Thank
the
you.
cost should go down.
You know, we got so much room in this country to build